Oh, well, Liam, the floor's yours, mate. It's your podcast.
Yeah. Okay, just wanted to see.
You're the man in charge.
Oh, thank you. Yep. So this is the gaming channel, and I've taken over again. So welcome, and yeah. So may as well say, I'm joined by James and George, and
Yay!
yeah, and may as well get to it. So I've got 3 segments. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take. It might not take long to get through them, but hopefully, we can maybe drag it out a bit. I don't know. But yeah, so the first one is about some news that's, of course, been doing the rounds, and that is the cancellation of the Batgirl film.
No!
Yeah, so what do you both think of that then? Have you heard about that and read about that?
You know what's funny? When I was at work, right, I was because you are on the computer, Bing is the first thing that pops up. Whatever. And you see all these news stories, and that was one of them, that Batgirl had been cancelled. I'm just thinking, I didn't even realise it was still going ahead, to be honest. I just don't care about it. I mean, what was the reason it got cancelled then?
It was, basically the Warner Brothers executives, I think, and, I'm not sure whether they weren't happy with it, but they did a test screening, and because it was received negatively there, they just scrapped the whole thing, even though it was like they filmed it all and it was in post-production. They spent $90 million on it, but
I think it's because people are getting confused with Keaton's Batman being in it, because The Flash was meant to come out before Batgirl.
Yeah. So
having Keaton in it, I think it confused a lot of people. And then with now Discovery owning DC, and they're trying to basically wash DC clean of certain things. Like, not a lot of people know about like Blue Beetle, and the Wonder Twins. They both had stuff coming out. I think Blue Beetle does, because it's just finished film.
Oh no! Liam is taking over.
Because not a lot of people know who not Blue Beetle or the Wonder Twins. They've cancelled like the Wonder Twins. They cancelled Batgirl. I don't know if it's cancelled Blue Beetle. But they want basically a clean slate, so they want a proper Superman movie. They've got the Batman. So I think they're trying to wipe the slate clean and trying to bring back the main Justice League characters, you could say.
Hi, draw me one figures.
Yeah, but actually, now that you've said that, that's actually made me remember that the DC, I don't know, CEO or whatever, said about doing having a 10-year plan like with the MCU.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yes, they're basically going to try that, I suppose, and hopefully they can just finally start or know where they're going, because like for the past how many years they just haven't really known where they're going. Yeah, but and also after what you said, James, I'd forgot about the Batgirl thing, about the Batgirl film, to be fair, before it was announced this week, but it was pretty big news, I suppose, because of what had happened. Like I say, it was basically done. It was just needed to be finished in post, and then they just scrapped it, which is a shame for like all the people involved and the cast and whatever. And I guess there's 2 sides to it. I suppose there's people who are saying, it should have still been put out, because you've got to look at all these other superhero films that have been put out that this was probably going to be better than, or like all these bad superhero films that were still put out. And
I think it's a shame in some aspects, but not in others. Because like, you've got Brendan Fraser coming. Well, the Brendan Fraser resonance or some sort of that, where he's only just come back to doing films, And then you've got more Keaton that you've lost in footage because of it being cancelled.
Yeah, and Brendan Fraser is going to play Firefly, and which would have been an interesting new villain. Who we haven't seen him in any of the live action films. So, and like you say,
I
Keaton's
think it will
Batman.
go the way of the Snyder cut. Yeah.
It might do, yeah, because I was watching a video or something talking about the Batgirl being cancelled, and that it might. I think they were talking about something like that. So yeah, it might do. To be fair, I don't know. It just depends on whether the demand's there. Because
what was that video called? Because I think I might have watched the same one.
I'm not sure. It might
Was
have
it called
been,
The Best Batgirl That Never Was?
Might have been what from Full Fat Videos.
That's it. Yeah.
It might have. Yeah, it was either that
Yeah,
one
yeah.
or it was. I watched another one from. I don't know whether either of you've heard of The Critical Drinker.
I don't think I've heard of him, but I did watch the Full Fat Videos one.
Himself, good old Critical.
No, but now he's a YouTuber I recently discovered, and I've been watching some of his stuff because he reviews films and TV shows, and I quite like his take, and he's just no nonsense basically, and he's he doesn't like all this PC rubbish and all that, and where things are going, so it's entertaining. But I watched those two videos though. It was from one of those two, yeah. And it would have had J.K. Simmons playing Commissioner Gordon. J.K. Simmons being the one who played what's his name? Thingy in the Spider-Man Raimi films.
One of the.
Who's he?
Does he play Jameson?
Yeah, that's it. Jameson, yeah, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I know this is really. Can I just say it's really random tangent? I didn't realise this happened in the original Spider-Man films, but I found it so wholesome that Jameson, he was like to Peter Parker, "Give me some proper pictures, you fucking idiot!" And then Peter's like, "Well, it wasn't Spider-Man, it was so." And then Goblin comes in and grabs him, and he's like, "I don't know who gets me the photos. I swear, I don't know." And I'm thinking, man, that's so nice that he's such a hard ass, but he's got a heart of gold protecting Peter Parker. What a legend! And then obviously, Green Goblin comes in and goes, "Sleep!" and then catches Spider-Man and takes him away.
Mm.
Yeah. No, but yeah, he's so entertaining throughout those films, yeah. Jameson, yeah.
I'm so glad they blew his helmet though in No Way Home.
It was good to have him back, but I prefer the way he was portrayed in the Raimi films, to be fair.
Yeah, he was bouncing that one.
Yeah, because in the Spider-Man, he was just there.
For me, it was seeing his face in No Way Home made him a bit more menacing, I thought.
What do you mean, seeing his face? You see his face in every Spider-Man film that he's in.
No, when he's wearing the helmet, but when he's in Goblin mode in No Way Home, you can see how good his acting face is when he's doing it.
No, we were about James, not Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
When was
I was going to say because when you mentioned the sleep bit,
you can't do this to me. I built this company. Yes!
No, but Willem Dafoe's great. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a legend. Have you seen him in Platoon?
No, I haven't watched that. No.
Have you seen him in The North when he slaps his dick at this woman?
No, I haven't watched that yet either. No, I listened to some of that podcast you were in, though, Ed Bounce podcast.
Oh yeah, what did you think of our review of it then?
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, hearing your take on all three, people's takes on the film, and
Sadly, at the moment, Ed Bounce said he's really busy trying to put. Oh, actually, I did privately message you this, didn't I? Yeah, about how he's busy with the Brick Films at the moment. He can't do any podcasts, so sad days. But it is what it is. Gives me more time to join you and on a Wednesday. Hopefully, Aaron.
I think you need that Top Gear meme for this bit, James.
Well, anyway, yeah.
What are you saying, George?
Yeah.
Well, no, George. George wasn't interested in what I was saying, but Liam was somewhat interested.
What did you just say?
Oh no.
George?
Anyway,
I
said we needed the Top Gear meme where it goes, "Oh no." Anyway.
Oh. But yeah, I'm just trying to see what else I can maybe read on the film being
It
cancelled.
just seems daft after the whole film has been made, and it was in the editing suite, and then they're bloody the editing stage, the post production stage, and then they're saying, oh yeah, because a bunch of people watched it and didn't like it, we're not going to release it. What? You should still release it anyway. Horrendous films have been released. Why shouldn't this be released? It's ridiculous.
I
Yeah,
think it's more to do.
Oh, go on.
I think it's more to do with the way it's fitting into the DC universe, because it wouldn't fit right.
Yeah,
Because
but they could do it
how would
separately. They could do it like how they did the Batman film, just make it some separate entity.
yeah, but I'm guessing there's a bit to do with like the other films in it as well. So I don't know. I'm guessing in a few years we'll get it.
You reckon someone's going to roll up and
I think so. Well, when we had it with the Snyder cut, so why can't we have it here?
Scenes that was deleted scenes that had already been edited.
Yeah, but that was like
extra
another
stuff for it as well. Though.
Pardon, Liam?
Yeah, they filmed a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
How much was that? 400,000 extra they spent on it, or something like that.
I watched the
To
video.
get it finished off.
I watched the video yesterday. I swear they said like they needed like an extra 70 million or something. I don't know.
I've been out with it. I think it was 70 million.
Yeah, but
it would be a lot less to do the Batman, the Batwoman thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but to finish the 4-hour cut, the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Yeah. So it would be a lot less to finish Batgirl off than the Snyder cut. And really, it could still come out after the Flash.
It could do. Yeah,
I'm doubting if that's going to come out now.
Well, it was because of Ezra
who knows?
Miller, wasn't it?
I don't know. Who knows what's going on with that? I don't know. But,
George, would you go on a drinking
all the stuff that Ezra's done.
George, would you go on a drinking session with Ezra Miller if you had the chance?
No, I'd probably be put in jail for conspirating with him.
Or conspiring with him?
Well, if you're there with the person, they might think you've done something as well.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant you actually would have conspired with him. I thought, what the hell has happened to George's brain?
No.
Oh, God. That's what I was thinking. I was gone mad. You shouldn't even be joking about it. But thankfully, you were just thinking that if you were associated with him, then you get in trouble. But they'd have nothing to pin on you, would they? You know?
No. But they might have had cameras or something like that. But if you're with that person, you never know, do you?
They probably question you to high heaven. But
yeah.
They probably watch this podcast and see all the lies you've told and thought, no matter what you say, it's a lie. And then you're in big trouble with the police. So, but I guess there's not much else to say about that Batgirl, Jazz. What's the next segment then, Liam? Actually, wait, to stretch this out, George, can we do the educating Jimmy? If you've got a fact.
What was it now? Was it £150? Was it or something like that?
What about?
Because I don't think I can say actual words because we'll get the podcast demonetized.
Well, it's not making money anyway.
A horse that has something that us three all have.
A penis.
Oh, well. Yes.
Why would it get demonetized?
Yeah, how much it weighs?
How much does it weigh?
£150. It weighs it.
No, it doesn't. Have you got mental?
Look it
up.
That
isn't true. A horse knob does not weigh.
It is. They are big though.
11 stone. Have you gone mental? Nearly 11 stone.
Look it up.
Actually, although it wouldn't be. Oh, I don't know. They are big, but they're not. Surely not. I don't know.
I can't believe I'm googling this. For God's sake.
Just don't go on Google Images,
Oh,
James.
it's £11, George, not £150. Yeah. George, what a waste of time.
What's the meme then?
What a waste of time. £11, which is still nearly a
There's a meme that says it.
Well, that didn't educate me at all. That was, you got the facts wrong. Bloody 11 stone. 11 stone.
What's the meme say then? Because there's a meme that says it.
So you got your fact. Hold on. Went to get noodles. What's occurred? Well, what happened was we asked George if he'd go drink with Ezra Miller, and he tried to say that he'd get done by the police for conspiring with him, which I was really concerned about. And then we did this new segment called Educating Jimmy, and George told me a horse knob weighs nearly 11 stone. I looked it up; it was £11. So I haven't been educated today. And George said that.
Okay, I got the weight.
He said the information was from a meme.
Yeah, it's from a meme. It's when you leave the TV on when you fall asleep.
So when you leave the TV on when you fall asleep equals a horse's knob weighs 11 stone. How does that work?
No, because it goes into the Animal Channel. When I leave this,
the Discovery Channel.
I'll send you the video. You can play it on here.
No, I don't want to witness that, George. I'm not interested.
Yeah, I think rather not. I mean, it is my podcast as well.
Yeah, it's Liam's podcast, exactly. So have you got anything else, or was that it then?
What segments was?
Anything for one of them.
No, I mean, George,
there is
Educating Jimmy
with the with Funko Pops. There is over 1,300. Sorry, no, I've got 130,000 different versions of Funko Pops.
Jeez, that's impressive. That's quite a shocker. I thought it'd only be like maybe like 5,000. So that's 135,000 different ones.
130,000, yeah.
Actually, I don't think that's much of a surprise to me personally, because there's just so many of them.
That's different kinds. I mean, like,
well, I guess that is a lot for different kinds, but there's just so many now, isn't there? I don't know.
Well, it says of 2018 there are at least nearly 6,000 Funko Pops.
That's probably different kinds.
That was 4 years ago, James.
That.
Was it 113 or 130?
You might. How many?
Well, when I first looked it up, it said 242 or something like that.
Where did you get the 135,000 from? Okay, so you got it right. I was close to the correct number, George. I was far closer. So guess how many there actually are.
I've taken a number right off a website. You're looking at 2018. I'm looking at 2022.
No. Known as Funko Pops, each toy is based on pop culture, and according
that's how have been made, James. You've got that wrong.
What are you on about?
I'm saying individual people. So like Loki, Obi-Wan, Santa. I don't know. In individual people or aliens or whatever.
Wait, do you mean how many Funko Pops there are in the world? And there's 135,000.
Not in the world. Different variations.
Oh, so like one might be
Obi-Wan or I don't, or the 11th Doctor or whatever, James Bond, ones like that. I can't want to. I'm on here because I'll lose the connection on here. Yeah, you want to? I need to go out anyway, so I can send you
Oh,
the
see
video
you
of
later
the
then.
horse. I'll send you the video of the horse as well that you can play.
No, I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that rubbish.
Oh, is he gone then? Oh,
No, I was just worried George would spin this camera around so you can get the video of the horse up and try and get the video destroyed. What's the next segment then? I learned nothing from that educating Jimmy. George got everything wrong, but what's the next segment?
So the next one is, this was a recent news as well. I think we heard about this slightly earlier than the Batgirl thing, though. I don't know whether you've heard about it, but you know, the KOTOR remake, the Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Yeah.
That's been delayed indefinitely now, so it could be years away from release, unfortunately. Because it was meant to be coming out in like the next few years, maybe, but now, no. So it was meant to be developed by Aspyr, who have ported some Star Wars games to newer consoles. But it was meant to be because they showed this demo or whatever to the investors or whoever. I don't know. It might have been Lucasfilm and whoever. I don't know. But and that was at the end of June, and it was badly received, I guess. I mean, there's a YouTuber I watched who was talking about it, and I don't know whether they had sources, and I don't know whether they'd seen some footage from the demo and they thought it looked good, but I guess they weren't happy with how it looked. And it said that, and apparently the game's design director and art director were subsequently fired from Aspyr during the week after the demo was finalised. And it says sources from Aspyr told Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, because it said Bloomberg reported that the game had been intended for a release, I guess, this year, the end of this year, but that was unrealistic. And they said, but that 2025 was more realistic. And it just says people familiar with the KOTOR project.
On your end and scroll through it all?
Sure, yeah. Okay.
No, you said £150. So.
Okay. I've got it. There we go. So, so like I said, it says people familiar with the KOTOR project said that employees have been informed the game is paused and Aspyr will now be looking for new contracts and development opportunities. It says insiders point to a lack of sustainability on the development of the project. The disproportionate time and money point to creation of the vertical slice demo intended for approval by Lucasfilm and Sony. So I guess they were the ones looking at it. I don't know. But now it's a Saber Interactive were brought in to help on the KOTOR remake in May, and it's thought they might now take over development completely. It says Aspyr's been working on it for around 3 years. But yeah, I think apparently there might have been a KOTOR remake in the works a while ago from, I think it was BioWare Austin, because BioWare made the first KOTOR, but that must have been a while ago, and that fell through. So it seems like Aspyr are just moving on to other things now, and I don't know, who knows where's this going? This is going now? Again, unfortunate news, but I suppose at least we've got Jedi Survivor to look forward to at the start of next year. That's coming out, I think, like February, March or something, isn't it? And then, it also says, from Respawn's Jedi Survivor to Skydance's cinematic action adventure. I think that's that game, isn't it? Eclipse. I think that's the one, but that's probably still a few years away. And it's got Quantic Dream's High Republic game as well. Because I know they're meant to be developing one. Because they did Detroit Become Human and games like that. But what are your thoughts on all that then? Had you heard about that? I don't think you had you, by your reaction?
I hadn't, but yeah. I mean, my reaction, I was just like... obviously, I was joking about with the... But, it's... On a serious note, it is quite a shame because probably not. Even though I haven't played the KOTOR games, a lot of Star Wars fans rave about them and say they're great. I do want to try and get around to playing them eventually. I think when I do play them, I'll think to myself, damn, it's a shame there wasn't a third one. And it's a shame that we're not going to get a remake of them. I guess partly the issue would be is that when you say Star Wars games to casual people, instantly most people think, oh, Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PS2. Lego Star. But what people think the most is the Lego Star Wars games, and probably the Star Wars Battlefront games, and then everything else. They're probably maybe a few people I know KOTOR and Republic Commando. A lot of people know Jedi Fallen Order. To be fair, quite a few do. A lot of people obviously know the new Battlefront games, but it'd just be cool to give this more mainstream. I think a few people do know. I'm not. Imagine having that in your holes. George, I haven't got the video, but I'm getting rid of that comment. That was ridiculous. You've been putting a time out for that one. Did you see what he put?
Yeah, I've read it before. Yeah, more nonsense.
Even if it never comes out, there's still plenty. Yeah, I mean, there are quite a few Star Wars games, aren't there? So, as you said, Jedi Survivor would be cool. I wonder, what do you think the High Republic game will be about then?
I don't know. It's going to be set in that era, which is that new era, I guess, that was created, which is like a few hundred years before the Phantom Menace. I don't know. I'm thinking because it's Quantic Dream and they've made games that are sort of cinematic, so I think they're sort of like somewhat like the Telltale games, I guess, like mostly conversations and choices. I think so. It might be like that, but I don't know. I'm not really sure. I haven't really. I know there's some High Republic comics and books as well, but I haven't read any of those yet. So who knows? But I wouldn't be surprised if that's a few years off as well. So at least Jedi Survivor is nearly done.
Yeah, the thing is, it's better that things have time and care and passion put into them rather than things just being rushed out. I mean, Halo Infinite, while it isn't, while the multiplayer has been a bit of a flop for one reason or another, I'm glad that they put way more time into the campaign because it was the best campaign 343 have made. And honestly, as much as that Infinite multiplayer isn't the best because it doesn't give you a reason to play it, apart from that and the maps, the gameplay is probably the game's biggest asset, to be honest. So 343 should be fairly proud of what they've done. And the thing is, delays are better than a rushed, shoddy project. I mean, the new Battlefield game, the latest Battlefield game that came out that Ackman looked into, there were so many different problems with it, man. And instead of just delaying it, they thought, let's just get some short-term money in this way, So I'd rather them take their time with it and make something great than... Like, remember when we were originally, when Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga was delayed, we were all like, ah. Obviously, now that it's out, we're like, hey, I mean, I've only played up to the start of Return of the Jedi because I've just been stupidly busy and just fatigued from the workload at work. But obviously, the bits that I have played, it's been an amazing, fun game. A bit too easy, but still great and fun, and the cutscenes are brilliant, and the missions are quite great as well. So yeah.
Yeah, it isn't that hard, yeah. And it sort of seems like, I mean, there are less missions with each one, with there being 5 each, but then there are more episodes, so there's more missions overall. But I guess as a result, that might be why the missions are shorter, because there's more missions. I don't know.
Yeah, and there's what's it called? And the hub worlds are big as well, and you can do extra things if you want to use hub worlds, on the planets.
I guess that's one of the appeals as well. The fact that that's so big and there's so much more to do outside of the story. Yeah,
I mean, I still personally prefer the complete saga, but I'll just have to see how I feel once I completed the whole thing. Objectively, they're quite close, really. I do think it's apart from the difficulty, I think it's an amazing game. It's captured Star Wars really well, and it's a barrel of fun. So,
yeah, I haven't played it in ages either, but I'm going to finally come back to it. Once I've 100% completed Lego Star Wars 2, the Clone Wars, and the Force Awakens, because I want to do videos on those as well, 100% completing them. So
I think we should. I think we should definitely review the Skywalker Saga once I've finished streaming it. If you and Ben are going for that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'm
That'd be
quite
great.
surprised that George didn't get the Skywalker Saga on the Switch. I'm very surprised he didn't bother with it, just because it is
Guess he
quite a
hasn't
band.
got it yet. He did say he was going to get it, didn't he? I think, but has he not
I
got it
think he
then?
was.
Yes.
I think he mentioned about how like there was it was a choice between two games, Skywalker Saga or Kirby, and I think he chose Kirby.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. But it's meant
Yeah,
to be a good game though. That was meant to be a good
yeah,
game,
true.
and it was a game I was planning to get. I still haven't got it, but I still haven't got any of
Didn't
these
you
Switch games I
stream
was going
it?
to get. But might do.
Yeah, I was gonna say as well, Liam. I'm probably gonna if more PlayStation games come to PC, I'll probably end up getting myself a Switch. For the Bants, just because like I don't see the point in getting a PS5 if all the games are going to come to PC anyway on the PlayStation. So I'll probably get a Switch and get stuff like Kirby and the Mario games and finally expand my gaming knowledge after all this time.
I mean, yeah, I can understand that. It is nice that like some PS5 games are being brought to PC, and the fact that Spider-Man remasters, like Spider-Man, is being brought, Sony exclusive, PlayStation exclusive, is being brought to PC is like, it's crazy. But I mean, they've been doing it with some of their, their exclusives, and I mean, like I say, it's nice that some of this is happening, and of course they've all got a God of War to PC as well. But I just hope that really though, personally, I just hope they don't keep doing it, for too many games.
Wow, no, it'll be brilliant. I need it. I need it.
I know a lot of. I know a lot
hundreds of pounds.
I
Expand
know,
my gaming.
I know a lot of people like don't maybe care so much about exclusives now, but I don't know though. I just feel like it's part of the appeal, isn't it? I mean, I know of course it's like it might be what drives people to get a certain console, but
There'll still be console exclusives always, but I just think it's nice how
yeah, it would
everything
be, yeah.
because there'll always be people who prefer the consoles. Always, like I was one of those people for years and years. I just prefer consoles. I just always said to people, I like being able to sit in front of the telly and just play with the controller and talk to people in party chat. But the reality of it is, PC's fucking king. So obviously, you play PC as well, so you do have a. Obviously, everyone's got a right to an opinion anyway. But as you have all sorts of consoles, you've got a PC, you've got a PlayStation, 4 and 5, you've got a Switch, so you can sort of say, well, I've got both of these, and I like how exclusives are on consoles. So
yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's possible. I suppose. I was just made me think of Halo, and it made me, and of course, originally Halo was just an Xbox exclusive, wasn't it? And then
imagine if that just stayed on Xbox, we wouldn't have been able to play it with each other on PC.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
wanted to
okay, I did say that, and Halo's on PC, and I don't have like an Xbox One or a Series X,
Exactly.
so it's on PC. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I guess it's not. I suppose it's fine if it just comes to PC, but I don't know. I just feel like this sort of, like I say, though, there's an appeal when it's just an exclusive or it's just on the PS5. I don't know. Maybe the same with the Xbox, but
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want them to have every single game on both console, but I would like a lot of games to come to PC, just because like it gives people that cheeky option.
Yeah, and, I suppose. Yeah, I get it. It would be fair, yeah.
So George just put on one of his alt accounts, you need a Switch. The thing is, George, I don't understand why you're so obsessed with me getting a Switch. Are you mental, George? Have you lost the plot? I'm banning you. I'm going to ban you again for that. That was ridiculous.
Of course, he's one of these people who has never really done any PC gaming. So
yeah, exactly. Oh shit! The comment stuck on there because I'm banning. No! Hold on. I think I can.
Surely you can get it off. There we go.
Yeah. By clicking Ben's comment, I got rid of it. No, but the thing is, like, it's like me saying, "Well, I hate Nintendo Switch. I think Nintendo Switch is rubbish because a few shrills for the PC have told me Nintendo Switch is rubbish." That's bollocks. That's such a nonsensical opinion because I've never played Nintendo. I've never played the Switch apart from at George's house, and from what I've seen at the Switch, I think it is a great console. I think George just thinks him telling me that PC shit will get me to come on Switch sooner. But it's bollocks because, like, I'm not being funny. I don't know why George wants me to come on Switch so badly because I'm not going to buy a membership on there. I'm just going to play games offline like Mario, Kirby. To be fair, things like Mario Party, Mario Kart, and Super Smash Bros. would tempt me to get online. I'd probably give it a go. But again, it's not like I'll be playing with George all the time on there. Whenever I do gaming sessions, I want to do it with the whole squad on things we all have. I might occasionally say, George, you want to play some Mario Kart? Yeah, sure. But I'd most time be saying, oh, should we all go on Rocket League? Should we all go on GTA? Should we all go on Fortnite, Apex, etc.? You know, that's sort of my attitude when it comes to gaming. But at the end of the day, like you can't have a solid opinion like PC is objectively bad when there's so many reasons why it's objectively good, and you haven't even played PC yourself. You cannot say that, George. So,
yeah. I mean, I guess at least with the Switch, at least the membership is significantly cheaper than with PlayStation and Xbox. But
that's a good point. Yeah. And to be honest, I'd much rather pay like 20 or 30 quid to play Mario Kart with a bunch of people, or Mario Party or Smash Bros, than pay like 50 quid to bloody go against a load of sweats who bloody on Call of Duty when I can just get it for free on the PC. Not have to pay 50 quid a year, rip off.
Yeah.
The thing is, George, if I was you, just get a really cheap gaming laptop and just get Steam and just play a few games and see what you think. Then come up with your own opinion. Don't just like bandwagon some odd take when you haven't even given something a go. It's like, although the thing is, right, there are certain things which you can say, right, objectively, you can say subjectively, I don't like this. Like the bloody, like PS3, subjectively, I'm not much of a fan, but objectively, it had some, because I felt like there wasn't really many exclusives on there. But objectively, it had some good things going for it, and there were a few decent exclusives in there, like the free online. Didn't have a party system, didn't have an achievement system, didn't have a games with gold system, but it didn't have the Ring of Death, and it was better built, and you could play games from the PS1 and 2 on there on some PS3s. So, and on a lot, you could play a lot of PS1 games, so it had a lot of advantages to it. My mate has got a PS3 and it's still working now, even though he only plays like one game on there, which is like Metal Gear Solid and GTA 2 games, Metal Gear Solid and GTA 3, which is really strange. I actually offered him MW3 and he was like, yeah, sure. Then I opened my case up and it was FIFA 11 and I was like, oh shit. And he was like, I don't like the FIFA games. Everything after FIFA 08 is shit. So.
I was going to say though, the PS3, like, it did still have like problems though, like especially I think with the earlier consoles, like with the original fat model, which is backwards compatible, having like different lights when it would have different problems, like yellow light of death and all that. So
it had a yellow light. I didn't know. Yeah,
I think that was one of them, but I think that was more so, like I say, with the original PS3 models though. Kind of like the 360, I guess, with the first like 360 models, like they might last like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, and then of the Red Ring of Death. But
yeah, imagine though going on like Xbox 360 when it came out. When did it get released? Imagine going on there on release day, 22nd of November 2005, and you can actually talk to people all over the world. How epic is that? On parties. And I mean, sure, that wasn't a fun big multiplayer game. George, have you lost the plot? I'm not letting you borrow my PC or my gaming laptop. Have you gone pistol mental? That's like you giving me your whole collection. I am not giving you. Buy it yourself. You've got the money, George. You've got the dime. No, but George, you could. I'm not being funny. In your situation, you could get a cheap gaming PC. So just get one. I'm not letting you borrow my gaming PC in a million billion years. You can get lost with that one. And this account has, yeah, but it's all copyrighted footage, George. It's all you uploading. Like, fair play, but it's all just copyright other people's footage. It's all footage from shows or pictures from shows. But yeah, that's a ridiculous thing, George. I'm not letting anyone borrow my PC. That's pistol mental. So, and I know what you're going to say, George. Well, I'd let you borrow my Switch. And the Switch, if I had a Stream Deck, I'm not being funny, George. I don't trust you with items. I'm not trying to be horrible, but I wouldn't trust you with a delicate item. Like, I'd be very, very wary. I'd be very anxious of you holding a delicate item, with all due respect, just because a lot of your collectibles are sort of damaged, destroyed, or smashed. So, I'd be a bit worried. However, if I did have a Switch and that worry wasn't there, or a Stream Deck, I would, lend it you. But obviously that worries there, so I wouldn't want to let you borrow it. Sorry, George. It's just that you're quite heavy-handed with stuff from what I've seen. Don't take it as an insult. We've all got our strengths and weaknesses, but yeah. So.
But yeah, so I've just got one more segment. It's not an article or any news, but it was just something that I came up with, and it's just a question really, which is I was just thinking about the MCU and the fact that, of course, it's it's going to keep going. How long we don't know. And of course, they've announced phase 5 and 6. So, what?
Oh, what a bag of arse.
What, phase 5 and 6 or?
Yeah, why are they making it go on forever and ever and ever? Like, what are they really going to do with it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So basically, the question is, how much longer do you think the MCU is going to last?
So, hold on, I'm just getting my shit set up because it's getting darker now. So I'm just getting my come on. I'm just getting my light set up. All right, let me just shut my curtains. All right, I'll tell you in a second how long I think it's going to last.
Okay.
So, how long I think the MCU is going to last. Now, the thing is, right, started in 2008. It had a beginning, middle, and end. It was always going somewhere, with Thanos in the end credits or someone else. So my PC that's worth over £1,000. So I bought for over £1,000, and probably still is worth over £1,000. Is worth a Dalek that you ripped to shreds and is like scattered all over your room. I don't understand how a Dalek could be worth a broken Dalek. You'd have to pay someone to get one of your broken, smashed up collectibles, George. You'd have to pay him £100. So I don't know where you got that number from, George. That was ridiculous. So, oh shit, yeah, he's been unbanned, so you can see all of his.
Oh yes, it was only 5 minutes, wasn't it? And of course, he's switched to his different channels as well.
I guess we'll keep those comments there as long as there's nothing else stupid. If there's something stupid, George, really stupid, then you're getting the users getting blocked. You're getting you're going to get blocked for this stream. So anyway, as we're getting in the middle, and then all the heroes got together. Thanos clicked his fingers and slapped his arse cheeks together and got vaporized everyone, and then they all came back through the portal in the last one. And then Tony Stark was like, "And I am." I can't click my fingers. And then Thanos was like, ha ha, ah! When he got punched and went flying and died. No, but he was like, I'm Iron Man. And then it ended. Then that's where it should have ended. Captain America had his ending where he went back in time with Peggy, and had fun with her. That's her name, isn't it? Or have I got it wrong?
Yeah, Peggy, yeah. Peggy Carter.
Cool. So he went back in time and had a laugh with her. And then he said to Bucky or Sam, he said, I don't think I will. And then who did it go back to after that? I can't remember exactly what happened on the credits. Thor goes off with the Guardians, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, they should have just ended it there. Not maybe left it open with like Thor going off with the Guardians and this, that, the other happening, but sort of just. I don't mind the Spider-Man films being there, to be fair, because they're really good. And basically, if there's more of a story to tell it, I guess. But I just sort of think to myself, like, they're just trying to make this go on forever and ever and ever and ever, and it's not going anywhere. That's the problem. Like, there are some great films, like Shang-Chi was great, No Way Home was great. I really enjoyed the Loki show. But the thing is, it's just they're spamming too much stuff out. That's the problem. It's like Miss Marvel, I really enjoyed, but I just withdrew from it because I thought there's been so much Marvel content. I just can't be arsed with this anymore. I'm done. Well, at least with Star Wars, there's not like a show around the corner every week. There's different, there's different, and it's different parts of the universe. It's not just the typical hero story. Person gets powers, takes on the villain. It's like, this could be happening in the galaxy, or this could be happening, or we're looking at this person, or this thing, So yeah, that's what's better about Star Wars. There's different eras, different times, different characters. Well, it's like with the MCU, it's just there's so many different things going on, but they're not really leading anywhere. So I think, but to answer your original question, I think that it's going to go on as long as it makes money. So they've announced Phase 5 and Phase 6. I'm not being funny. A lot of shit gets announced doesn't mean that it's going to be the real deal and definitely go ahead. You know. So I think it'll keep going as long as it makes money. Once it's really far in the shitter, they'll just leave it there because Disney want to use it to make money. The stream that I'll miss because I'm watching a film, lol.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you said. I mean, I was watching a review or someone talking about, I think it was like the future of MCU and Phase 5 and 6 and all this. And I think they sort of said that like the cracks already starting to show. And I guess in terms of revenue as well, such as like more recent MCU films haven't been making as much. Like Thor hasn't done as well. But have you seen the latest Thor yet or not?
Yeah, it's rubbish. Well, I cannot rubbish, but it's like 5.5 out of 10, really not that.
Yeah, it's probably like a. Yeah, it might be that. I don't know.
And I was really hyped for it. This was make or break for the MCU. If this had been good, I probably would have been really hyped for what's to come. But because this was just such a bag of arse and so mediocre, I was just like,
it's just like ridiculous the amount of humor, and most of it didn't land either.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I mean, I wouldn't mind reviewing the Thor. As you've seen it, I wouldn't mind reviewing the Thor film one day. But,
I would like to review that because, like, even though it was disappointing, I just think it'd be good to talk about. Yeah,
maybe we could talk about it months after the fact because there are some pods coming up next, like the there's one next week which I don't want to say what it is. There's one the week. Oh wait. So there's like there's some coming up. There's probably a original Spider-Man movie review. There's cool stuff coming up. I know the 1 week I'm on holiday, so I don't know. We'll just do whatever. There might be one next week. There might not. We'll just do whatever's going to happen. So yeah, James. I bet that's some horrible stuff that he's typed in German. Disgraceful. 1 out of 10.
Probably just copied from Google Translate.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, there's cool stuff coming. What input? Oh yeah, so one day we can review for Thor 4, and that could probably be like a final modern MCU review for now. Just because I don't want to review all the new MCU stuff. I want to move on and review other stuff. So.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, it spices things up as well, doesn't it? And just going back to older stuff as well and things like that. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I was watching this video about Phase 5 and 6 or whatever in the future, and like I said, I think the crack's already starting to show with recent films, like because they said that. So of course, No Way Home did well at the box office, but that was a great film.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, and they said Doctor Strange only did so well at the box office because it was riding off of No Way Home because it takes place right after. So people wanted to see how that would play out. But then we've only had Thor since then, haven't we? And that hasn't done so well, but that makes sense because it was, it was pretty average, really, if that. So yeah. So it depends, I guess, if the next few films are not so good either, then that's gonna have to make them look at themselves, make Marvel and Disney look at themselves perhaps and see what they can change perhaps. But I don't know, I mean, we'll have to see. The thing is, at the same time, of course, they're bringing out all these shows as well, and there's been so much more content in Phase 4 than like multiple earlier phases combined, I think, because of Disney Plus now and all the shows, and like I said, the shows have been, I don't know, it's kind of, to be fair, I've enjoyed most of the shows, but I mean, Miss Marvel, I mean, I've enjoyed some of it, but again, it's sort of more content, it's just another origin story, and it's sort of, it plays out, but it's nothing, it's nothing special, I suppose. even though there's some good stuff in there. And like you said, I think it's just too much content now, too much at once.
Yeah.
And I'd argue the same with Star Wars as well, in a way. With like them doing the same with the shows. I think it'd be good when they finally bring out another film. I'd say, you could sort of maybe go back to those like films every now and then, perhaps, rather than just show.
I don't mind all the Star Wars shows because at least it's just shows and not movies. That's the thing. And most of the new Star Wars films have just been a bag of arse anyway. And while the shows, there's been some good shows. The Mandalorian, amazing. Bad Batch, really good fun. I know it had its weaknesses, but I thought it was good fun. Boba Fett, good fun. Obi-Wan Kenobi, below average. Visions, I'd say scrap, semi-good. There was some pretty good stuff in there. What other shows have there been? Clone Wars Season 7, amazing. Well, great and amazing and a bit weak in the middle. But, the end, the 4-part finale was GOAT. So.
Yeah. I know we've got some more shows coming up which are, which should be good, but you never know. But it's just hopefully Kenobi was an anomaly. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't like Book of Boba Fett either. I mean, I know we enjoyed it, and there's some things that weren't so good, and definite, things they could have done better. But hopefully, Kenobi was an anomaly. Hopefully it goes back up from here. But I just don't know. I mean, I thought the last Andor trailer looked good or decent, but we'll see. I suppose.
Yeah, it's in a different era, so. It's not,
but it's still between episode 3 and 4. It seems like they're doing a lot of that at the moment. I don't know.
At least it's not set on a desert in Tatooine.
Yeah, at least not Tatooine again for like the.
Don't you mean the woke MCU? Too many women. You're mad, George. You're mad. Well, have you got anything else?
No. Yeah. So you said the MCU is going to last till I guess it basically stops making money essentially, and then they'll leave it. That's what you said, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I think.
I mean, it's possible, but I'm also thinking that if like the next however many films continue to flop or make less money, then they might have to reevaluate things, and they might still keep going for now. I don't know, but maybe try and actually make the films better and maybe put more effort into them. And maybe
fingers crossed.
It kind of seems like in a way like it seems like they might be getting lazy, doesn't it? Maybe with the writing and perhaps I don't know.
They need to get me and you on the case. We can make a big crossover between Star Wars and the MCU and have Jar Jar Binks as the protagonist going, "Moi, moi, I love you," and sniffing poo out the engine and going, "Bleh." I think that would really revamp the franchise. But I did want to ask you one thing before we bring it to a close. So you reviewed 4 games so far: Star Wars Squadrons, Destroy All Humans, and the Destroy All Humans remake in one video. Wait, no, you compare. Yeah, you did it. You compared the original and the remake. Battle for Bikini Bottom and the 4th one, the video Lego Star Wars, the video game. What's next on the agenda then? Is it going to be? I'd love to see a Halo game. I'd love to see Halo CE, but what do you think you'll do? Have all the ones you
played? Just trying to think, because I played Lego Star Wars the video game was the first game I played on the channel. That I did a playthrough of. Then I did Destroy Humans, and then I think I did Avengers, didn't I? So
don't review Avengers, no.
But it might not be a long review though, because it's been ages since I played it, and it's had loads of content added since. But of course, I don't know. I mean, in a way, I can only talk about my experience when I played the game as well, because of course, loads of content came out. I know. Of course, it flopped, and like a lot of people didn't like it, and whatever. But it could be. I don't know.
You talk about any other game than that. But obviously, do what you want. You can make
It
your whole
might-
channel dedicated to that video game. It's your choice. But I prefer Halo CE or Crash 4 or.
Because if I continue to go back through the games from when I started, then it would be either that
Is
or
that the game
maybe.
plan then?
I don't know, possibly, but I might not do that. It'd either be that or maybe one of the more recent games, perhaps a Halo game, like you said. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about like a Halo CE review as well, but yeah,
So it'd be cool to see what you say about CE and the CE multiplayer and how it came out in 2001. It was the first proper 3D FPS. I know there was obviously Half-Life, but this is like the first mainstream big game on there.
it did. Yeah, it did a lot for first-person shooters, really, didn't it? To be fair.
Yeah. So was Half-Life 1 on the PS1?
I don't know. It might have been.
Was it on the PS2? It was on the PS2. What? It came out in 1998. So how was it on the PS? Oh, it was a PS2 port. Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
So what? It had to have come out on the PS.
Well, it says it's been on Xbox
came out
as well,
on Windows.
360.
No, it said it came out on Windows, PlayStation 2, OS X. So it came out on the Apple device computer at the time. It came out on the Windows computer, the Linux, which I don't know what that is. It's just a picture of a penguin sitting there.
Yeah, it's another operating system. It's not so big and as popular, but it's been around for a while.
Maybe the PS1 couldn't just deal with it then. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, because it's got Xbox as well, original Xbox, 360, PS2, PS3, and
I think it would have been Half-Life 2, wouldn't it?
Maybe. I've just typed in Half-Life and it's got the series and it's got all the platforms. So I guess the first one, yeah, wouldn't. Maybe that. Did you say that was a port on the PS2?
Yeah. And Half-Life 2 came out in 2004. Looks pretty cool. I'll have to play those games eventually. They do seem pretty badass. They seem like gangster games.
Yeah, it's interesting. It'd be interesting too. And of course, they were made by Valve as well, who, of course, made Steam.
Made Steam, yeah. Really bad thing, I do love Steam, I love the discounts, but the only thing I don't like about it is that the customer service is atrocious, man. Because if you want a problem solved, you've just got to click on loads of different things, and they don't have a proper customer service that you can just phone and ask for help.
I think that's the case with a lot of companies, though, isn't it? Now, I think. Usually you can call them, but they often have that, don't they? So you can see if you can fix the problem before you have to call them. But yeah, I know it's not great, and there are companies with terrible customer service for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can nicely wrap that one up there then, unless you got anything you want to say to top it off.
No, wouldn't say so. Well, I'll just say that is all.
I'm glad I stuck by the rules and didn't do any impressions of you or Tommy Innit jokes or Noel Gallagher or any of that stuff. So I stuck by or kicked you from the stream. So I stuck by the rules once again, and it was easy to stick by the rules. I'm not like, oh God, I can't bear not doing a Liam impression or a Liam and Ewan McGregor joke or a Tommy Innit or Noel Gallagher or whatever joke. But when it comes to George's takeover, that's going to be a lot more difficult to resist kicking him or making some daft joke. That's going to be very difficult. But hopefully Aaron will be there for that one, because as I said, with the last one, if the segment's too bad, me and Aaron just can unanimously vote to skip it, but we both have to agree to skip it. So, because there was this one segment which was atrocious in the last George Takes Over, which what happened was we just reacted to Try Not to Laugh, and it was probably one of the worst moments on the podcast ever. It was just the most unfunny Try Not to Laugh video. Me and Aaron were just sitting there like this. And George was sitting there like this.
Oh.
And then George sort of laughed at one very unfunny bit to make it interesting. I'd really doubt George found it funny, the bit that he laughed at. So that was probably the worst moment, one of the worst moments on the podcast ever.
Which podcast was that then?
It was George Takes Over 1.
Oh, okay, I have watched that, so I might remember it.
Then some of the other worst moments on the podcast, but one of them was actually an unpublished one when me, Hakill, and George reviewed Hot Fuzz. This was the original review, and because George changed his profile picture to a naked anime woman, I went ballistic and just ended it. I was just like, for fuck's sake. But the whole podcast was a shambles anyway, because what happened was, George, if you're watching, I'm not trying to slate you, Hakill, I'm not trying to slate you. But what happened on that podcast was basically me carrying the whole thing. I was bringing out all the points and I was exhausted, and all Hakill and George basically said was like, yeah. They barely had anything to say about Hot Fuzz. And to be fair, I don't mind George not saying loads about the Cornetto trilogy because he probably hadn't watched it for years and it was good of him to come on. But Hakill, sort of said that he knew loads about it, so I expected him to have loads to say. But he said it was just me carrying everything, and in the end, I just got annoyed at George that he changed his profile picture to that. It was an unlisted video, it wasn't live, but if you have that on an unlisted video, YouTube are going to take it down. I just didn't want to take the risk. But obviously, it's all in the past. No hard feelings towards Hakill and George, but that was some definite bad podcast content. And to be fair, the other Cornetto trilogy review that actually did get published, where it was just me, Aaron, and Hakill, that was definitely one of the weaker podcast episodes. Yeah, but it is what it is. I'll leave that there. So if you want to do the outro, Liam, can you say this is the gaming channel, that is all? Come on, Liam. Come on.
Yeah. Yep, so I'll just say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe to ALP Podcast and yours truly, the gaming channel. And that is all.